So, episode 8 of the amazing Digital Circus came out just the other day, and wow, what can I say about it other than
Holy shit.
this episode was a ride from start to finish. Pretty much every episode up to now I've laughed, but this episode didn't have me laughing. That's not a bad thing. This episode had me stressed the entire episode. Like, I don't think I've ever been more stressed watching a TV show before. That being said, I'd like to touch back on one of my previous theory videos, specifically the one where I talked about Kinger and Abel, because we learned a lot about Kinger in this episode, and it actually proved a lot about what I talked about correct. In my theory video, I mentioned that I believe Kinger and Cain were both part of something together, even mentioning that Kinger was one of the original developers or an AI on the same level as Cain. And would you believe that I was proven correct? Not only was Kinger a developer for CNA, he was the developer that created Cain. Not to mention one very specific line I said at the end of my video. Because if Kinger fully recognizes who he used to be, then the circus might start falling apart in ways Cain can't control. I said that not really thinking much about it, but that's literally what happened to the circus. After Cain gets deleted, the entire circus starts falling apart, and Cain is not able to control it. All of that because Kinger is able to be sane and do his thing. Does that mean Abel was a recreation of Kinger when he was still a human? Probably not, but I do still believe he was based off of what Cain knew of him. Anyway, this is just a follow-up on my previous theory video, now that episode 8 came out and we have a little more backstory on Cain, CNA, Kinger, and all of that. If you enjoyed this very short video, hit that like button, subscribe if you'd like. I have a lot more theory videos coming out because this episode gave us a ton of stuff to talk about. Bubble, I have a video on Bubble coming out. I have a video on Kinger being the one to delete Cain, because there's a lot of stuff there that I don't think a lot of people realize. So stay tuned for that. I have some stuff on that coming out in the future at some point. So stay tuned. Until next time. Talk to you later. Bye.